This was a bad idea. This is a really old one I never played back in the day. Don't ask me why, I don't know. It's from the PS2 era, so expect slightly janky physics, short draw distances, and being able to use a ruler to measure the pixel size. The game follows Rasputin as he runs away from a circus to become a psychonaut. He sneaks into the Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, try saying that 5 times fast, and has a single day before his dad shows up to pass his exams. And in true video game fashion, things don't quite go according to plan.
I've been coming here for years, and trust me, nothing ever happens.
As if mastering psychic powers and contending with the camp boys isn't enough.
Hey, kid! You owe me 5 arrowheads for this week's protection service!
There's also a plot to steal the kids' brains with the intention of building giant death tanks and ruling the world. Again, all this happens in one day. No pressure. First though, you need to go through basic training. This means jumping into the mind of Coach Oleander. It's a taste of the style of game you're in for. Oleander's mindscape is a maze of trenches, concrete bunkers, big guns, barbed wire, minefields, and brass band music. There's the obligatory jumping over pits, climbing ladders, scaling ledges, swinging from poles, grinding pipes. Early on you're introduced to the brain tumbler. Through this you can access the collective unconscious. It's a kind of hub world through which you can revisit the mindscapes of people you've already visited. Raz has a fear of water, mainly because his family is cursed to die in water. Nice. This is a very convenient way of ensuring you don't go for a swim. Ever. Now the cynic in me says this is a very convenient way so the programmers don't have to program swimming or water. But I do like the way they make it part of Raz's character. Like they actually make it a plot point. Most games would just go, water! Mindscapes are a collectionist's idea of heaven. There are mental cobwebs to hoover up. Memories locked inside vaults. Mental baggage to collect. And so many figments. So many! The Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, say it 5 times fast, itself can also be explored. An early open world game, if you like. Very early.
Okay, call me crazy, but I have just got to sell more Psychors today. So yes, these prices are real. Here at the camp store, Psychors are just that cheap today.
The camp is open world, but it's not 50 square miles open world. It's a reasonable size. Ubisoft's formula hasn't infected the gaming landscape yet. This is a much more reasonable size. Again, limitations of the technology probably contributed to this, but it's much smaller, more compact, and it doesn't feel like there are collectibles all over the place for the sake of it. This game is not padded, or at least it doesn't feel like it's padded. It's nice and reasonable. The camp also has collectibles because, of course, it includes arrowheads, scavenger hunt items, psi cards, and challenge markers. Which are not what they sound like, by the way. A challenge marker makes it sound like once you've got it, it unlocks a challenge somewhere in the open world. It doesn't do that. It just increases your psi rank by 1. That's it. As you enter certain worlds or level up enough, you'll be granted a merit badge. These badges grant access to new psychic powers. There's only 8 powers in total, but they are quite useful. And diverse. Again, a modern game will feel the need to drown you in options, lest you lose interest in what it's trying to do. Which, now that I think about it, is more an indictment of modern video games.
Fantastic! What style you have, young man!
This has deeply imaginative worlds. Some are perhaps a bit more conventional than others, but it always does its best to upend your expectations in some way. All your powers are necessary to progress at some point, though the only real blockade came when I faced off against a particular mini-boss and I didn't know I was missing a power. It is true that some powers are less useful than others. Some seem to exist only to gate off progress. Clairvoyance, for example, is only used twice. Confusion is only needed once and is weirdly limited by ammunition. And pyrokinesis, you can use it as often as you like, but it's too slow to deploy in a fight. Marksman and levitation, they're the ones you'll have equipped almost all the time. And if you ever get stuck, you can always summon Agent Cruller. With some bacon. From out your ear.
Delicious!
Agent Cruller, do you have any advice on the current situation?
You ever played Doorbell Ditch?
Don't come to a Tim Schafer game expecting logic.
And when she opens it, take her out.
In fact, there are plenty of crazy characters on hand. Some of them are actually crazy. But not all of them, I think.
Ah, you're ready for the brain tumbler. With this device, we will send you deep into your own psyche, where you should find unparalleled insight and power.
Excellent! Tumble away.
Now just relax. This will not hurt. Unless something really very bad happens.
Now, there are issues with this being an old PS2 game because no internet patches. One of the main ways you upgrade, for example, is by collecting 100 figments. The figments are partially transparent and fade in and out. Some of them move in and out of sight completely. And if there's a pattern background behind it, like there is everywhere, good luck spotting them. It doesn't help the game has a limited draw distance, meaning you can't just climb to a high point and spot them from there, like you would with a modern game. And the final level is a huge pain in the arse, mainly for two reasons. First, it turns out that if you use the size shield to block the sword thrower's swords, the game instantly crashes. And secondly, grinding along these rails sucks. It exposes, if it wasn't already obvious before now, how pants the acrobatics actually are. I mean, they function, for the most part, but you fall a lot. Normally when you fall, you just climb back up and try again, no problem. You don't usually have much of a climb, so it's easy to overlook. But here, jumping too near the end of the rail makes the game think, you're not really interested in the jump, and says, well, screw you then, and it doesn't bother helping you round the turn, which costs you a life. But guess what? If you jump too early, you don't make the gap. You have to jump just before you need to jump to make the distance and get round the corner. This is easily the worst part of the entire game, or at least the most frustrating until you figure out the trick. But Whispering Rock is not just for humans, oh no, because this game wasn't weird enough. In the daytime, telekinetic bears roam the forests. I'm not even joking. And at night time, there are pyrokinetic wolves, which are almost impossible. No, they are impossible to sneak up on. And they set you on fire, causing you to run around like a chicken with its arse ablaze, which is not actually far removed from the truth. Invisibility is the surefire way to deal with these. Payback's a bitch.
Children, please remember not to pet or feed the animals at Whispering Rock. The titanium in the food chain has caused numerous psychic mutations, and the animals you encounter, especially at night, might be more dangerous than the kind you have back home.
The shop will sell you, among other things, Psycores to help level up, healing mental fluff, and a mind magnet, which means you no longer have to chase pickups in circles. And I should have bought the mind magnet a hell of a lot earlier in the game than I did.
They're nice brains, Dr. Lobato. Really.
They're too nice. They won't fight. I need killers. I need angry brains. I squeeze them, I poke them, I twist them. What do I have to do to make them fight?
This is not the most complex game you've ever played, but it's clearly not trying to be. Psychonauts is a throwback to the old school time of gaming. I mean, not surprisingly, since it's a PS2 era game, it's just been ported across to the PS4. And due to the limitation of technology of the time, they had to be creative. This is an example of that creativity at its finest. It's not trying to make a statement. It's not trying to be world beating. It's not trying to look realistic. It's not even trying to make any bloody sense. It's a fun, run around world working to its own rules. It gives us variety, a cast of colourful characters and a selection of reasonably sized maps in which to experience them. The Psi Power Clairvoyance is the most useless power in the game, yet there's nothing to stop you from using it on everyone, just for the fun novelty value of seeing how everybody views you. There's also nothing to stop you from trying to set someone on fire, just to see their reaction. And there's a modern sequel developed for the PS4 specifically as well. Yep, after this, I'm going to go check that one out as well. Here's hoping it's as good. It's by the same guy anyway. As I say, this is an older game, so don't go expecting modern graphics and lots of complicated systems, because it ain't gonna happen with this. But it is very engaging and it is very imaginative, and that's its main strength. It's a nice, small, focused experience, unlike these vast open world vistas that every game seems to be nowadays.
The peaceful city of Lungfishopolis is under attack tonight by a hideous, gigantic monster the terrified citizens have named Guggalore. The Navy has responded quickly and decisively, dispatching its entire tank division to neutralize the creature. Soon, authorities say, everything will return to normal or better. Kidnapping human children is good.
I liked this one. I can see myself playing it again. Assuming I'm not too busy playing the sequel. Right, that'll do for this video. What did you think of it? Leave a like or dislike down below. What did you think of Psychonauts? Have you played the remake? Did you play it back in the day? Is it still as good as you remember? Or, rose-tinted glasses? Leave a comment down below. And for those of you who can't get enough of my dulcet tones, you can always subscribe, ring the bell for notification. That's a separate thing. Or if you want to inflict my irritating persona on someone else, you can always share instead. See you next time.